सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Okay, so last time we completed the 6th chapter, both about the meditator and the meditation. Both was discussed. Any questions, clarifications, or we go ahead?
Swamiji, I did have one question.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned something to the effect of, I'm just paraphrasing, that one should not feel deluded that they have the knowledge.
Yep.
So what exactly does that mean? The deluded?
Yeah. This happens to a lot of people. You have been listening to Vedanta for some time. Maybe you have got some insights also. Okay. But you have a long way to go for clarity. But the desire to know is so strong, the mind jumps to conclusion, no, now I know, no? Because I can talk about it, I can say a few things about it. Therefore, I delude myself. I have picked up familiarity with the words, with the style of teaching. So I can even give a talk on this thing. So because of that, one can be deluded into thinking that one knows the truth. Though it's not yet a fact in my life. Maybe insights are there, maximum. Some insights. But not more than that. But because of that, I jump to this conclusion that I know. And that can be very, very dangerous. And sometimes I have also seen people who don't know start teaching and things like that. They will start by saying, no, we are just doing Swamiji's Gita home study, which is a very good thing to form a group and discuss. That's good. That is geared in such a way that it can be done. But after that, they'll want to do more this, that. No, you're deluded, you don't know yet. It is not that after the Gita you won't know, you can know. But be careful that you are not deluded. That is why we say, if you are going to study Vedanta, study the Gita, study a few Upanishads, go through the Brahma Sutras, then we will see the whole thing. Then clarity will come in. If that is not there, you can delude. And that is recognized in the Upanishads and the Brahma Sutras, this problem. So, in the Upanishad, the statement is, Pavan of Punyena Shravanam Kuryat. Again and again listen. Which is summed up in the Brahma Sutra by saying, Avriti Asakrat Upadesha. Keep repeating the teaching to yourself. Exposing yourself to the teaching so that that delusion does not come. Yeah, Rohil, you had a question.
Just a follow-up question, Swamiji. You said that one may have some insights. So, what could that insight experience be like? I know this sounds vague, but could you still attempt to answer?
Yeah, it can be some sort of vague understanding of it. Not very clear-cut. But okay, some understanding is there.
Any particular experience that may be associated with it?
Meaning? Oh, there are plenty of people like this. You look around, you will see. People who are deluded, who have started teaching before they have completed, who wants to do take a full-time course before they have taught anything in public. वो champion लोग है. I don't want to mention any names. I am talking of our Arshavidya Parampara. In this itself, we have people like that. Few, not many, but there. Handful. But deluded in that.
Yeah. From what you describe, it sounds more like people, just because they have an intellectual grasp or they have a grasp on the jargon and the theory, that is being mistaken for I know it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, Prashant.
Swamiji, similarly, I have a question along the same lines. So, we listen to the classes regularly and not to talk about it with anyone, but just for my own private understanding and like evaluation of my own self. Sometimes, like obviously sadhana chatushtayam and also the habitual thinking part, they have a long way to go.
Yeah.
But with regard to the teaching as such, like, can we say that, yes, I do know, but I need to work on the clarity, or like, because sometimes what happens is, sometimes there is a lot of diffidence as well, like to say that I
Yeah.
know, like, or to even say to oneself that yes, I do understand,
Yeah.
like, is that differentiation
Yeah.
better?
Yeah. So sometimes it is different, sometimes it's overconfidence. So the thing to strike a balance. Yeah. Thing to strike a balance. Yeah. Difference is also not good. Yeah. Not good to be diffident about it. Just like how it's not good to be overconfident or confident, not to be diffident is also not good. So, but that balance, people forget that some work has to be done on themselves and on their minds, for it all to settle down. So some amount to that's why in the 6th chapter we saw Uddhared Atmanatmanam, the development of your self-esteem, etc. is necessary. How do you live in a manner where your self-esteem grows? All those things become necessary. A healthy self-esteem. So those type of things become necessary. A certain amount of diffidence is understandable, because when you look at the teacher, especially if teacher has been teaching for some years, okay, there is a profundity there which I may feel he's way ahead of, which is true, but he had a head start. That's why he's a teacher. Okay, yeah. He wasn't like this when he started teaching. Yeah. So that's okay. It's fine. Yeah, Rohit. You're muted.
I'm sorry. Since you spoke about self-esteem, just in continuation of that, suppose if one has a confidence of yes, I can get it, yes, I can gain the knowledge.
Yeah.
Is that confidence healthy?
Yeah, that's
can it
healthy.
be dangerous?
That I can get it, I don't have to postpone it to another lifetime. That's a very healthy thing to have. But it is not just the attitude I can get it, what is your follow up on that? That's important. If there is follow up, is very healthy. Follow up in terms of getting my mind ready, follow up in terms of being in touch with the teaching, all that thing. That's a healthy thing to have.
Because oftentimes I'm afraid that what if I cross that thin line from between confidence and overconfidence? I have that fear in me. So
yeah, it's
how
good
does
to
that
question
fit?
your
Okay.
confidence. If you're questioning your confidence, that is healthy. That means you will not get into an overconfident mode. So it's healthy to question your confidence into things. Yeah. It's like this, when I went to ask my teacher about being full time, I didn't have any role models ahead of me. Nobody whom I knew had gone to study with them. I knew some of the full time students there, but I didn't have a role model or anyone to compare myself to and say, okay. So I said, okay, I'll go and ask him. And there's a possibility he will say, no, you're not ready. Objectively speaking, you have to accept that possibility exists. So I said, then what? Then my next question will be, what should I do to make myself ready? You get the point? Yeah, I may not be ready now, but what should I do? Or guide me how to be ready, so that if not this one, the next one I can come to. So that's a healthy thing to have. So that's where the whole thing goes. Is to strike that balance. A healthy self-esteem is always good to have in any role in life. Student, teacher, parent, student, employer, employee, husband, wife. A healthy self-esteem is a must if you want to be fulfilled in now these roles. As much as the roles can give you fulfillment, you need that, and that's to build up. In fact, when I have a long-term corporate training program, meaning I know is going to last a couple of years at least, I start with the self-esteem workshop, even though the executives sitting in maybe senior people in their 40s, 50s, and they're supposed to be VPs, GMs, and everything. But still, I'll start with something like this. And they come and tell me, Swamiji, some of these things we didn't think about. And when I start with my youngsters, college students, 15, 17-year-olds, I start with the same thing. The levels may vary, but the beginning is the same. Yeah. And the principles are the same that I reveal in both the groups. Depth and level may differ because there is a mature crowd, these are beginners. So it works well. But a healthy self-esteem, not a pseudo self-esteem. Okay. So one is, okay, to a quick sum up, if you go to my website, all the workshops that I do, about 8 modules are there in it, okay, on my website. But a quick sum up, one, to examine your childhood, how you are brought up, what type of messages you received, because some of us have received very pathetic messages growing up. And then to live with self-awareness, awareness of your mind, body, etc. Those things, not awareness of the truth, but self-awareness as the functioning part of it. Then acceptance, self-acceptance. Then responsibility, proactivity. How to live my life with responsibility, proactivity, that is part of Karma Yoga. Okay. Then being assertive, handling my emotions. To live with integrity, value structure. All this to have an altar of surrender, so that I don't go overboard with the whole thing. So this 7-8 principles contribute to a healthy self-esteem. If I live like that, I will have a healthy self-esteem. I will have a learning mind, an assertive mind, a mind that can express itself. So that type of person coming to Vedanta will work very well. Yeah. VedicWisdom.in, yeah. Yeah, and then that you go for Vedanta workshop for self-growth. Thanks, Agartha. So I've fleshed it out a bit. Of course, the whole workshop cannot be put up. Then you'll have to video record the whole workshop and then put it. And if a workshop is video record, people will get too self-conscious to ask or participate in everything. So I don't do that. You can't have a workshop on Zoom, okay? It's experiential. You need to deal with it physically. So previously, every camp I used to have some workshops also. Especially longer camp, 4 or 5 days camps, I used to have a workshop. Module is part of the whole camp. Any other questions? 6th chapter. Or all that we have done up to now. Okay, if there are no further questions, we'll start with the 7th chapter. Okay. It is called Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Okay. Jnanam is what you hear from the teacher when it's used together. Vijnanam is what you have validated in your life. Both are important. You hear from the teacher, all right. But if you can't validate the teaching in your own mind, in your own life, it doesn't help you. So it has to click and work. That's why Jnana Vijnana Yoga. So it starts by Krishna himself starting it. As I always say, remember one thing. All this was not necessary for Arjuna. Arjuna was 2nd chapter over and done with. Okay. I am sure he said Nashto Moha something there. But if you notice, every topic idea in the second chapter is blown up over the remaining chapters. Something added to it, this, that, etc. Like meditation, for example, last chapter. Where did Arjuna require meditation? Vajramushti warrior, Maharati. What meditation? Yeah. That level warriors are great meditators. Okay. So he didn't require that. But that chapter is elaborated for all of us by Vyasa. So similarly, lot of things are elaborated by Vyasa, which is good, which is fine, because whether Krishna said it or Vyasa said it, it is not different. As far as the Shastra was concerned, Vyasa was equally good. Okay, yeah. So communication, etc. is fine. So here Krishna starts by himself. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Saktamanav Partha Yogam Yunjam Madashraya Asamchayam Samagram Mam Yatha Nyayasi Tat Shrunuhu. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Bhagavan is saying, Maya Saktamanaha. Maya Parameshwari Ishwari Asaktamanaha. The mind is totally committed to me, Ishvara. Me, Ishvara, me, the consciousness, both. They can't separate one from the other. Okay, that's the Yogam Yunjam Madashraya. Yogam Yunjan, taking to a life of yoga, karma yoga. Madashraya, what is your dependence? You are depending on me alone. For the knowledge, whom what do you depend on? The Lord, Ishvara. The Guru by extension. Okay. So Madashraya, son, depending upon me. That means what? You are not depending on this and that. See, this itself, that statement itself indicates that the student should have a healthy self-esteem. We want 100 people to help us. We have not cultivated a sense of independence. Nothing wrong in seeking for help when necessary. Okay? Because everyone doesn't know everything. Oh, my bike is not working properly, I will take care of it. What do you know about engineering, about maintaining the bikes? Nothing. Then it is unhealthy to touch a spanner to it. Because I don't know anything about it. So nobody knows everything. Therefore, that is a different thing entirely. But that emotional dependence. Oh, I am going to go and study. I want my parents' support. Guaranteed it will not be there. Tell your parents you're going to full time. See how many of them will support you. Yeah. I'm not joking. Don't expect. Or my employer will support me. My friends will understand. They won't understand. They'll think you're an idiot. इतना अच्छा काम धंधा छोड़ के उधर जा रहा है, ये पागल है क्या? I don't need their support or their understanding. It's okay. If they're seriously interested and asking me, I will explain things. But I don't need that. I can handle it. Who's your support then? The Lord Himself. Okay. Madashraya. Asamshayam samagram mam yatha jnayasi tatshu. In entirety. How exactly will you come to know the truth? Tatshu. Listen to me. Not that he has spoken about all that before. Second chapter he has spoken everything that is necessary to know the truth. But here he is adding a few more things. If your mind is not fully ready to live a life of yoga, most people will say, no, I am not ready to live a life of sannyasa, therefore I will live a life of karma yoga. Okay, are you ready to live a life of karma yoga? Do you have enough bhakti in you to have Ishvara Arpanam and Prasada Buddhi? Or do you say, God, why have you abandoned me? I told you all, na? The Mumbaiker's prayer. Tata ne apyo, Birla ne apyo, Mani nati apyo. You're given to Tata, you're given to Birla. Now you'll have to add, you're given to Ambani, you're given to Adani. But you're not giving me anything. If that is my attitude, what Karma Yoga? What Karma Yoga is there? So he says, certain sides necessary to be a Karma Yogi. I can't even say good Karma Yogi. Karma Yogi is a good person. Yeah, so to be a Karma Yogi, what it is, that's what he's adding here. Okay. Then he says, this is how the chapter got his name because of the next verse. Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshyami asheshatah yat jnatva neha bhuyaha ajna jnatavyam avashishyate. Jnanam te aham, to you, te unto you, aham I, jnanam savijnanam idam vakshyami. I will talk to you about jnanam and vijnanam both. To validate it in your life what is necessary, I will talk of both, he says. Asheshataha, without any baki. Baki kuch nahi chhodega. Without leaving out anything. I will tell you it completely. Okay? And how do I know that is enough? Yat jnatva, after knowing that, ne iha, here, nothing, bhuyaha anya jnatavyam ishyate. You will not desire to know another thing. For the sake of moksha. For the sake of repairing your bike or your car, you may want to know a few things. But for the sake of moksha, you will not want to know anything else. Meaning, there is a self-sufficiency in the whole thing. Yeah. Self-sufficiency in the knowledge, self-sufficiency in terms of what I have to do. Both is there. Yeah, you will always get a little dependent on the teacher until the knowledge is complete in yourself. Until the teacher calls you and says, go, confuse other people now. You have been confused enough. So, until then, okay, that little bit, this will be there. But beyond that, nothing is this. Asheshataha, completely I will tell you. Now he is also striking a caution here after that. Okay? Because, what is it we are after? We are not after something small. We are not like studying a book or a text or something like that. Okay? We are not achieving this or that. You are after the greatest things in life. You are not after an achievement in life. You are achieving freedom from all the issues in life itself. It's something very, very profound. More than profound. You are after the limitless. You are after the limitless. Not just competency in something or the other. You are not just after competency or an education. No. You are just after the limitlessness itself. Which, thank God, happens to be non-different from you. Therefore achievable. Therefore, since you are after that, he says, take that seriously, and he strikes a caution because of that. He says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschan mam veti tattvataha. Manushyanam sahasreshu, thousands of people. Thousands of people, kaschid yatati siddhaye. Only few people, a handful, will strive for moksha. It's true. Yeah. But Swamiji, sometimes when this man talks, when your teacher used to talk, 10,000 people used to listen to him. Yes, 10,000 people in Bombay. Out of the population in Bombay, how much is that? Minuscule. minuscule. And yatatam api siddhana. Among these people, accomplished people who are listening, kaschan mam veti tattvataha. 10,000 people listen. How many people try to study it seriously after that? 20, 30, 40. It's always like that. Vedanta can never become a mass thing. If I was teaching a practice, okay, that can become mass. If I was teaching a technique, you do this thing, 100% physical success, 100% spiritual success, 100% material success. You can make that a mass thing. Okay. Or if I was doing a workshop, okay, resetting your personality, you can do that as a mass thing. Religion can be a mass thing. A social idea can be a mass movement. Seva, taking care of the poor, can be a mass movement. Taking care of abused children can be a mass movement. Women's rights can be a mass movement. Men's rights, sometimes men also need that. Okay. That can be a mass movement. A political ideology can be a mass movement. Religion, of course, is a mass movement. You just have to come out on the roads and Ganpati time to see what is happening in Bombay. It can be a mass thing. Vedanta will never be a mass thing. Because it takes a lot of maturity to even discern the problem. People come out of curiosity. That's why the problem has to be explained so much, so well, and so many times. So the discernment of the problem itself takes time. Then what am I after as a solution? That understanding takes time. Therefore, it will never be a mass movement. That my teacher created 300 teachers, huge thing. Huge thing. Nobody before. I think after Shankara, nobody has done that much. I know Shankara, when you see his photograph, you see only four students there as teachers. That is not true. Here are hundreds of teachers, hundreds teaching. Hundreds of people taught. 4 became well known because they were given the job of heading a pita, etc. But just because they headed the pita doesn't mean they were the best of the person also. Yeah. Because it is not that type of comparison that goes in selecting all this. One of the greatest teachers I knew in my lifetime refused being the Pitadishwar 3 times in his lifetime. Every time the Pitadishwar had a samadhi, this man was offered. I'm talking of Harihara Tirtha, one of the teachers I studied from in Rishikesh. He was offered. I will teach. So another one came. He had a samadhi. Again, Maharaji, abhi to le lo. No, I will teach someone else. 3 times he was offered. And 3 times he refused. Like Caesar, 3 times he was offered, 3 times he refused. But even a 4th time wouldn't have tempted him. He was like that. He didn't want it. Some people will take it up because they think, okay, organizationally I can make a difference. Okay. There's nothing, not that something is good or bad. What is it that you can do and what is it you prefer to do? Some people may even want it. That wanting raises a question mark. You don't want it too much. A little bit saying, yeah, I think I can make a difference, I want it. That's fine, that much is fine. Because you think you can make a difference by heading that setup. Anyway, therefore, to discern a problem and come to it, come to Vedanta itself is few people. It will never be a mass movement. And he makes a statement here. Okay? Yatatam api siddhana. Among the people who are making the appropriate effort. Kaschan mam veti tattvataha. few people get it in this lifetime. Why is he saying that? अरे कितना lifetime भटकने इधर आ गया है. How many lifetimes have gone before we come to Vedanta? All of us were jivas, because we are a jiva in this lifetime. So you are jiva before also. So from the dawn of this cycle of creation, from Satya Yuga onwards, we have been hanging around. No? Correct or not? How many lifetimes have we lived? In my personal case, past life regression, I remember, Arey yaar, you are such a great teacher of Vedanta. That lifetime I wasted. I didn't learn. I was too busy with other things. Correct. I mean, I had some exposure, which made it easier in this lifetime. But I remember lifetimes, and there were great teachers around. But I didn't take it seriously enough. I'm not joking. I remember a lifetime like that. That time the art of war was more important for me. A lifetime spent as a warrior. Yeah, fine. Lifetimes where I lost loved ones. No regrets. But why? There's a warrior mind. Alright, so lifetimes as a warrior. What's left for you now? This lifetime? Being a warrior, a chief, and this. अभी क्या है? साधु बन जाओ, और कुछ बाकी नहीं है. Really, after that, what is left? So this lifetime, you. So what about all those lifetimes? Didn't get it, no? All of us who have come to Vedanta in this lifetime have dabbled somewhere or been exposed to something or the other previous lifetimes. That's why there is a some taste for this. There's a taste for this. You like this. On a Saturday evening, in spite of 101 pulls and pressures, you are willing to learn. There is some taste for this. Agreed. And circumstantially also. It is not just your interest. Circumstances may pull you in 100 different directions. Child falls ill, parents fall ill. Come on. Those things are there, no? You can't say no. I told you about my a friend of mine who studied with me. No? He was studying in the batch. We were all students together. Then he gets a phone call in Swamiji's phone. That time there were only 2 phones in the whole ashram. Okay, one was in the office, one was in Swamiji's room. In Swamiji's room there is a call. Call Mani. So Mani when goes there. The call is from your brother. He's in the hospital. Chances of survival are slim. Rush. So Swamiji buys him a ticket to go to school. He goes. And on the deathbed he tells, my children are very small. Please take care of them. And he dies. So what is he going to tell his brother on his deathbed? I will not take care of them. 5 kids. To see that all of them finish their education, nothing more than that. But that's the minimum, no? Graduation, finish. 20 years went by. Then he wanted to come back. Someone said, yeah, come. You have been waiting 20 years, come. Next batch, come. He goes away. He dies. So this lifetime gone, now next lifetime. Correct or not? So circumstantially it can happen. Or other distractions can happen. Hey, you have a chance to join an ashram and study. Or you have a chance to take up this job and see the world. Yeah. I can go to Europe, this, that. Yeah, anywhere. The job will take you all over. Okay. I will come back to Vedanta later. Which is not bad. Some travel and that type of job can mature you out. Fine, take it up. But then in that part of it you met somebody, then you decided to get married, which is also good. Then both of you study Vedanta. But then you have kids, which is good. Nothing wrong. Then finally what happened? अब तो बिल्कुल बूढ़ा हूँ, गोली खाकर जीता हूँ. अभी क्या पड़ेगा ये सब? You had the chance. I'm not saying any of them is bad. No, but you needed all these to grow. It only shows that I needed all this to grow. Those experiences are necessary for my growth. And the Lord is kind, He gives you all the experiences you need to grow. Growth takes time. But the grown person coming to Vedanta, knowledge is like this. So how do you all know that this lifetime is your last lifetime? You're going to get it in this lifetime. How do you know you're not going to get it? Don't postpone it. That's the idea. Just because He has said it will take many lifetimes or only a few get it, how do you know I'm not among the few? That's a healthy self-esteem. Oh, only few get it. I am not that good. No. They can do it, I can also do it. Correct, no? If I can do it, why can't you do it? If I can gain the truth, why can't you all gain the truth? No reason why. I was not born with this knowledge. I was an idiot who thought of sailing around the world and things like that. Before I met Swamiji. Then I met Swamiji, that thing vanished, this thing happened. Life is what happens when you are planning other things. So the idea is, just because He is saying it, which is true, what Krishna says is very true. Lifetimes have gone before we come to it. But once you have come to it, don't postpone it. Don't postpone it. Because this could be the life that you get it. This can be the life that you get it. Don't postpone it. I've seen many people, no, all this is so important. Good people, good human beings. Lot of bhakti, etc. in their lives. Oh, Baba, all that for Shankara, etc. Baba. So when the Acharya comes, the Shankaracharya comes, you will worship him, fall at his feet and things like that. Good. But let me ask you a question. Do you think that Shankaracharya was born with this knowledge? He was born as much as an idiot as you and me. He didn't know the truth. Any of the 4 Pitadishwas were there now. Okay? Mahasanidhanam of Sringeri, whom we follow. No, parampara wise. You think he was born with this knowledge? He was born as much as an idiot as I was. Or you were. Nobody is born with this knowledge. But Swamiji, what about his background, etc.? Because of his background, he struggled more. Because in an orthodox background, his mind was not free. So it took a long time for him. Swamiji, what are you saying? You're talking like this about Mahasannidhanam now? Yeah, I am talking. Why? Because I talked to them one-on-one. They have admitted it also. Yeah, it's a fact. Pariksha lokan nirvedam ayat. After having examined life, you got that nirvedam. So, but many of them didn't get the chance to examine life. No, they went off as kids. 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 14-year-old max. Then, so where is examining life? That is indicated in Shankara's life itself, no? When he was having that debate with Mandana Mishra. Mandana Mishra was practically defeated in the debate. So his wife stepped in as his better half. I can ask you a few questions. So it should. So you ask him, knowing very well. Now, here is where the smartness of a woman comes in. He knows Bala Brahmachari. He won't know anything about sexual activities. So she asks him questions about sex. Erogenous zones, everything. I'm not joking. It's all there in Sanskrit written. And Shankara is puzzled now, he doesn't know that. So he asks for time out. Says, give me time. I'll find out and come back and answer you. Of course, then a great thing is created. He left his body and entered a king's body, and there in the king's body he knew everything. Then he came back to his body and came and answered the question. Whatever. He went, found out and came back. So sometimes the orthodox mind can't accept the fact that Shankara went and found out and came back. So let us take the story in either way, it's okay. He found out, that's all that is important. Whether he found out in this body or another body, what does it matter? Body anyway is a problematic stuff. So what does it matter? He found out, no? Good. He knew. Pariksha Lokan, that is one aspect he has not examined. Not that he needed that to know the truth. That apart. That means what about all the others who go as kids? Pariksha Lokan over? No. That aspect has to be taken care of. So you mean to say everyone should get married? Really? You need to get married to know about all these? In today's world, what are you talking? The physical, the emotional, you need to be aware of it and deal with it. That's all. That's a good thing about Kali Yuga. To gain punya, to go to heaven, etc. is difficult. But to gain all this and gain maturity of life, all this examining life and maturity to know the truth is easier. Because it's not so structured, na? Things are broken down. So it's easier. Really. Moksha is easier in Kali Yuga. Heaven is difficult. In Satya Yuga, heaven was easy. Moksha was difficult. Yeah. Because you have to wait until Vanaprastha, etc. That becomes an AC. Even though that escape clause was there. Yad ahareva vrajet, tad ahareva pravrjet. That moment you have that vairagya towards life and you want to go and study, you can do that. That clause is given because the society was so structured, most people waited. Here, it's not structured anymore. Therefore, there are 100 different ways of doing it. It requires a certain maturity on your part, how you are going to go. And I know one person, he's a student of mine. He's a retired industrialist. Half of his wealth is already given away to his children and wife and everything. He says, I don't want them to wait for my death to start enjoying the wealth or to do something productive with the wealth. So I've given half of it away right now. And then he has a venture capitalist fund, etc. for people, because I have to give back to the society. All that thing he has. And then now what does he do? He attends my class, and every day at least 1 or 2 recordings of mine he will listen. Morning, evening he will meditate. That's a 5-star sannyasi's life. So he is using his wealth smartly. No? If he wants to come to me and clarify my doubts, etc., he'll tell me, Swamiji, when can I meet you? He'll drive down in his air-conditioned car, come sit with me and discuss everything and go back. And I said, it takes you time not to come. I know, it takes me about 45 minutes. But I'm listening to some of your recording at that time. So now what? So nothing has to trap you into anything. Anything can be used for your freedom. Because when he says the statement, Kaschit Dhiraha Pashyati, don't take it that I am excluded from it. I am one of them. I am one of them who will get it this lifetime. Because anyway we are in the minority. So, why not this lifetime itself? if we don't get it in this lifetime, not a problem. Sixth chapter, the promise of Krishna is there now. Next time I'll pick up the threads again. So not an issue. That is not meant for postponement. That's an assurance that nothing is lost. All is not lost. That's an assurance. Though you have to go through another lifetime, be born again, this thing. And that time, as a youngster, see, look at it. If somebody has sat in my class for 20 years and not got the truth, he dies and he is born again, you think next lifetime he will not want to take it up faster? Not want to join an ashram early in life? Then you think the universe will help him to go? The universe will conspire to make him possible? No way. His parents are going to be against it. His friends are going to be against it. If he has a girlfriend, she'll definitely be against it. Madashraya. What he said in the first verse, remember? Lord will be the only Ashraya, nobody else. We somewhere expect that because we are doing something good, something great, everything should work out. Pipe dream. The difficulties come and we are doing something not so good also. But then we expect that problems. Good things we don't expect problems. Why? Problems are there, good, bad, everything will be there. Things will happen. Have you ever seen rain until November in Bombay? Maximum I've seen is up to Diwali. Up to November. So what, Swamiji? So construction is getting delayed. Good thing I'm doing, no? Construction is getting delayed. So I do not pray to Anjaneya. Hey, thoda drive away the clouds. Don't have storm condition there. It rains in Bombay. Remove that. Your dad will listen to you. Remove that so that we can start. Are you getting the idea? There will be issues. Whatever good, bad, ugly you're doing, everything will be there. So many lifetimes you have lived. And this lifetime, whether we don't know how much we may have come into Vedanta previous lifetimes, etc. But we know we have dabbled something into it because there is a taste for this thing. There's a samskara for this. That's good enough. So, in this lifetime, we can get it. Because after all, what is the journey from you to yourself? Why postpone it further? Remember, from Satya Yuga onwards, you have been postponing it. From the beginning of creation, we have not come to this. So this lifetime can be the last. So get it. Yeah, Prashant, you have a question?
Swamiji, you said this, that as a jiva, at least from the beginning of this kalpa, I am there.
Yeah.
But isn't the jiva anadi, like in the sense?
So even different kalpas. So I'm just taking this kalpa as a one manifestation. Either to hai na, we are definitely there. We could have been there for different kalpas also.
Swamiji,
Yeah.
but when you talk about the anadi thing, that you have been there since the beginningless, so that even creates a sense of panic or urgency that we need to get it,
Correct. That little thing is good.
But that panic can create its own obstruction.
Not panic. It can create a motivation. Panic it won't create. Because to counterbalance, you can say there, if not this lifetime, next lifetime I will get. So that will take care of the panic part of it. Krishna's promise in the 6th chapter. So not this time, next lifetime I will get it. So that will take care of the panic factor. But that little bit motivation, impelling to get it in this lifetime. Why struggle with it all over again in another lifetime? Because to get it.
Swamiji, to contrast it, the problem of infinity, like when we say for like Abrahamic religions, they like promise eternal heaven. We say with the finite karma, eternal thing cannot be obtained.
Correct.
Right. But here that argument won't stand because we are talking about ignorance.
Yeah.
It's not about
exactly.
Right.
Correct. So that eternal thing stuff doesn't stand here. Eternity here is in terms of self-discovery, that you are eternal. So probably, if I want to give benefit of doubt to the founders of those rooms, probably it was told through them, but they didn't get it or they didn't talk about it like that. They talked about it as a place and things like that. I mean, to Jesus I am willing to give that, to Muhammad I am not. Because the Quran actually was written years after Muhammad. Number one. Then the Caliph destroyed this thing and 100 years later wrote his version of the Quran. The Hadith came 200 years after the Quran, so none of the people who wrote the Hadith knew Muhammad. There is enough evidence for all this.
Apparently in Bhavishya Puran there is a mention of a figure called Muhammad.
Yeah, there is.
So,
but he is not spoken about what do you call positively. He's talked about as a person who is creating confusion. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is what Quran ends up doing.
It's creating confusion and problems in the world. No? They say there will be a prophet-like figure, Mahamud, prophet-like figure, who will cause confusion and destruction. That's what the Bhavishya Purana says. Confusion and destruction. So you should be treated as an asura.
Yeah, he is to be treated as Raja Bose was advised not to go to that land.
Exactly. So, I mean, we don't have to go about saying every religion is right. We don't have to. Every religion has their way of relating to Ishvara. That much we can accept. Yeah, you had a question.
I was saying that means we are anticipating that in no previous Janmas we have not achieved this.
Exactly. Because we are here.
Because we are born again.
Exactly.
So
that is the proof that we did not get moksha in our previous lifetime, because this lifetime I am born with self-ignorance. If I had gained self-knowledge, I wouldn't have been born with self-ignorance. I wouldn't have been born at all. So, because I am born with self-ignorance, it shows previous lifetime I didn't get it. I may have known teachers. I may have even sought this knowledge, but I didn't get it. I could have been a yoga brashta. So that is the whole thing. So the question is, it is not about postponement. That promise there is an assurance. Here is a caution that, hey, don't take it for granted. There it was an assurance that if not this lifetime, you will get it next lifetime. Here it is striking a note saying, hey, everyone doesn't get it. So you better take it seriously enough. Committed enough, not seriously. I know one of my students was attending my Rishikesh camp. She took a small video clip of me teaching, where I was cracking jokes and laughing away and put it up, saying, in Vedanta, we are very serious in our approach. And I am laughing, the group is laughing, everyone is laughing. But we are committed. You need not be serious. You can't be serious about Ananda. Okay. But you can be committed to gaining it. Therefore, here, these verses are meant for commitment. 6th chapter verses was meant for assuring, hey, I don't have to be stressed out about it. But I can be committed to something without being stressed out. And that's exactly what we need. You have to be relaxed inside. At the same time, committed to knowing. Committed to it. So that's why he's saying that. Kaschit, okay? Kaschin mam veti tattvataha. Very few come to know me in completely, in reality. Yeah, very few. That's always the case. That's why it can never be a mass approach. Even if 20,000 people come and sit in a class, it's still not mass approach. And popularity is not the test of authentic teaching. Okay? In fact, the more authentic you are, the less it even if you are trying to reach out, social media, things like that, and get more people, made people aware there's something like this available, it will still be a minority. And that's how it's meant to be. That's the reality of things. Now, after this, what is he going to talk about? He's also going to give you some upasanas, etc. So develop bhakti, so that I can be a better karma yogi. Because obviously, if he says, hundreds of people, lot of people come to me, but some get it. That means most people are going to be karma yogis and get the truth. Sannyasa is a minority. Among the minority, it is still further minority. Okay. Yeah. I mean, over 40 years, how many people I have taught? Hundreds of people I have taught. One person has taken sannyasa. Some of you know her, Swamini. One person has taken sannyasa. For all this, hundreds of people I have taught. Some of them for 20, 30 years. So it's always going to be a minority. So how can I be a better karma yogi? So that I can live a life in such a manner that I can get the truth. That's what he'll be focusing in the coming verses. How that what I have heard from the teacher, I can validate it in my life. To validate it in my life, I need this ready. So what are the things ready, etc. And some nuances, clarity of the knowledge, that also we will present, which we will see next class. Good place to stop. Okay. Oh, that's it.